Hello everyone. Now in this session we will learn about CSS transition. Okay. In previous lecture we have seen that CSS animation we will get to use how we can apply animation over a particular HTML element. Okay. Now CSS transition. It will allow you to change property value very smoothly over a given duration, and there are various properties to set whatever property you want to apply as your transition. For example, this is a transition property itself. It is a shortened property. That means you can set all the values for remaining for property, that is transition delay, duration, property, and transition timing function. In CSS animation, we were using @key rule to bind our animation with our HTML element. Okay. Now over here there is one important property, that is a transition property, which is important property because whatever property we want to apply, we have to mention a property name over what we want to apply that particular CSS property animation. Okay, so transition property, it is very important property, and else that is a transition delay. Obviously by name you can get it that it is used to delay over transition duration. That means for what time you want that your transition should complete in that duration. Transition timing function, as like in animation there is also transition timing in that case CSS animation there was animation timing function. Okay, that means this property will specify how smooth you want your transition. Okay, now let's see it. First one, its value is ease. That means it specifies a transition effect with a slow start, then fast, and end slowly. Okay, which is by default value of transition timing function. After that there is a linear. Okay, specify a transition effect with the same speed from start to end. That means, for example, if I am increasing width of my particular banner, or of let's say for a particular div tag, okay, then a speed of increasing width is linear. That means it will affect on at the same speed from start to end of my transition. Ease in, that means specify a transition effect with a slow start. Ease out, specify a transition effect with a slow end. Ease in and out, specify a transition effect with a slow start and end. Okay, now let's see some example of this. First, for example, whenever you want to, first of all, whenever you want to apply transition effect, okay, you need two things. First one is the CSS property that you want to add an effect to the duration of effect. Okay, and second one is the duration of the effect. That means, for example, I want to set property for this attribute. For example, let's say I want to set up a particular transition property for a width of a div tag. Okay, that means you have to choose particular attribute on which you want to apply CSS. Okay, and the duration of the effect. Let's see one example over here. There is one div tag. Okay, and I have set CSS property for div tag is like that. Width is 100 pixel, height is 100 pixel, background color is red, and over here I have used shorthand transition property. Okay, that means your first one is your transition property and second one is your transition duration. In single property you can add multiple values of different transition property. This one is for transition property and this one is for transition duration. So what does it mean? For a div tag we have choose property is width. Okay, and it will be held for 2 seconds. Now over here you can see that this transition will be affected whenever I over div tag. Okay, this is our pseudo class. Okay, pseudo class. This is the syntax of our pseudo class. How we apply in my playlist you can check pseudo class if you are not aware about this. Div colon over, that means whenever we over div tag this will happen. So what will happen? Width width will be set to 300 pixel. For what duration? In what duration this property will be set? So then width is 2 seconds. Okay, so this is a simple example of CSS transition. Now you can see that this is our div tag like that, and I have just mentioned other properties, but one at a time. We have not used shorthand transition property. Over here, background color is red, transition property we have set width. Okay, for what duration? 2 seconds. We have set transition timing function as a linear and transition delay as 1 second, and this is width 300 pixel. It is same as above. Now let's see one example in Notepad++ editor how we can implement in practice. In Notepad++, this one is a simple HTML code. Okay, title CSS transition. In style tag we have nothing set at all. In body tag I have take one div tag, and in div tag I have written programming with Paro. Now let's set a simple property for div tag, CSS property for div tag. First one is default width is 100 pixel, height is also 100 pixel. After that, background color, let me set it as a light blue. Okay, these are the basic property of div tag. Now I want to add transition property. So transition property. So transition property is, let's say I want to apply transition for a width attribute of div tag. Okay, and for what duration? So for that purpose I have to use transition duration property of transition, and let me set it as a 4 second. Now this is where we have selected property. Now what kind of transition I want to apply and when? So I want to apply transition when I mouse over my div tag. Okay, this is your studio class, and syntax of this is HTML element colon and your particular effect. After that you have to set whatever you want to set. Width is, let's say, 200 pixel, just double of original, double of default. Save. I am saving it and launch in Chrome. You can see that this is our simple. Now I am just mouse hovering over my div tag. You can see that it's programming with parallel. This width is getting increased. Now let me change another property, background color also. Okay, so background color, whenever it apply background color, it should be blue. Okay, you can see that whenever I mouse over, background color is blue. But this background color property is not chose as a transition effect. Transition is applied whenever there are just few properties for which we can apply transition. For example, let's say width, height, like that. Okay, so this is a simple example. Now I want to add another property, that is transition timing function. Let's say is in. Okay, save this, refresh this. You can see that at starting it was very slow. You can see that. Look. Okay, Now let me change it. First of all, let me take it 3 seconds. Now ease out. That means it will be very slow at end of transition. You can see that at the end its speed is decreasing gradually. Okay, like that. Now I want to apply transition for two property with different duration. So how can I apply that? Either you can first one is, let me, okay, you can also do like that, and it is for 4 seconds. Okay, and let me set height, let's say it is 40 pixel. Okay, just watch carefully. Are you getting it? Width is increased and this is also increased, height is also increased. So this is how you can get how you can apply two property at a same. Now there is another way to apply property in a single code of line, that is only transition, and for how much duration you want to apply, let's say 2 seconds. After that there is comma. Now after comma, whatever will be there, it is considered as a different property, let's say height. Okay, and for height you want it for 4 seconds. So this is okay. You can see that it width increase is in 2 seconds and height is increasing for 4 seconds. So this is how you can apply CSS transition. Practice it. Bye bye.